Good morning, children. Today it is my lecture 3 under thermal properties of matter. Hope you have understood in the last class what is heat. The previous class we have learned what is heat, and also we have learned what is temperature, and also different types of that is temperature scales, and how do we measure the temperature using the thermometer. All those things we have learned in the previous class. Today let us go for the new concept, which is here we will learn about ideal gas equation along with absolute temperature. So these concepts let us learn today regarding the one ideal gas equation. Okay. Hope you understood in the last class regarding thermometers. In the previous class I said about thermometer, where you have learned the liquid thermometers like the thermometer which is filled with liquid, particularly maybe mercury or alcohol. So depending on that we said it is a mercury thermometer or alcohol thermometer. So in the last class I have given the introduction about the liquid thermometers. We have also one more type of thermometers like gas filled thermometer. So the thermometer instead of liquid it is filled with gas, it is called as gas filled thermometers. Okay, and today let us learn about the gas filled thermometers. To learn this is an application of the ideal gas equation. So to learn this gas thermometers, let us learn the concept of ideal gas equation. Okay, so first to learn about gas thermometers, we use the one application of ideal gas. So to learn this ideal gas, let me give a brief concept about this ideal gas. You know, there are three thermodynamic parameters where you can say they are nothing but the variables in the gases. For example, that is one called as the pressure, volume and temperatures. These are the three variables you come across in the one gases, and using these three variables different scientists have given different laws, and because of that there is different laws, we have named them as gas laws. So here regarding pressure, volume and temperature, three scientists have given three different laws. So those laws are called as gas laws. You are already aware of these gas laws in chemistry, but at present I just give a brief introduction about these gas laws. Along with using gas laws, let us arrive at ideal gas equation. Okay, so now please observe. A scientist by name, that is English chemist, you can say chemist, he is an English chemist by name Robert Boyle. Robert Boyle, English chemist. Robert Boyle, in the early 1627 to 1691, 1627 to 1691, during these years he has given the law based on gases. According to him, where you know the three parameters, where the three parameters like pressure, volume and temperature, and using them he has explained keeping one of them constant. the remaining two variables he has explained. So according to him, he has kept the temperature constant. So please observe, Robert Boyle has kept temperature constant. When temperature is kept constant, we call that the process in which temperature remains constant, it is called isothermal process. The process in which temperature remains constant. So keeping temperature constant, or you can say he explained isothermal process. So when temperature is constant, the three variables where you already know pressure, volume and temperature. Among these he has kept temperature constant. So the remaining two variables where he has explained where pressure is inversely proportional to volume. According to him, he said pressure is inversely proportional to volume. What do you mean to say in this? Here, keeping temperature constant for any gases, as you increase the pressure, volume decreases. As volume increases, pressure decreases by keeping temperature constant. That is vice versa. So you can observe here according to him. So using three variables in the gases where he has explained, keeping one of them constant. In his explanation, he has kept temperature constant, and because of this temperature constant, we say that process is called isothermal process. So using isothermal process, he explained the pressure is inversely proportional to volume. What do you mean to say? They are inversely proportional. What do you understand by this? As pressure increases, volume decreases. Or vice versa, as volume increases, pressure decreases. This is the concept he said. Or you can also define in another way where he has explained also product of pressure and volume always remains constant. In his explanation, he also said product of pressure and volume remains constant. Product. So if one of the variable nothing but volume is increased, pressure is decreased. As pressure increases, volume decreases. But the product remains same. So product of volume pressure remains constant, he said. Okay. So in his explanation, he has explained this. After him, one more scientist by name Jacques Charles, where he has explained, he is a French scientist, where he has explained in his explanation where Jacques Charles. By name Jacques Charles, he has explained, he is a French scientist. He is a French scientist, nothing but you can say French chemist. He has explained during the year 1747 to 1843. 1747 to 1843. What does he explains? In his explanation, he keeps the one pressure constant. So you can remember, he has kept pressure constant. When you keep pressure constant, we call it as isobaric process. So iso means same, baric means pressure. So he has kept pressure constant. We call it as isobaric process. So what does he explains in his explanation? He keeping pressure constant. The remaining two variables are there. Where he has kept this constant, remaining are volume and temperature. So what he said? So volume of a given gas is always directly proportional to the absolute temperature. He has said the volume of a given mass of gas is directly proportional to absolute temperature, keeping pressure constant. And he has explained that process is called nothing but called as isobaric process. Or you can also write like this. This can also be written like this: V by T is equal to constant. This was the equation given by the one Charles. According to Charles, he has explained isobaric process, right? And using this. One more scientist by name, where you can also say here only two scientists I said. One is the one Boyle, another is the nothing but Charles. Right? These two have explained. These two laws are enough to explain the ideal gas equation. So you can remember that is nothing but using these two you can explain ideal gas. What does here they have explained? Combining these equations, nothing but combining Boyle's law and Charles' law, nothing but combining equation 1 and combining equation 2, they have arrived at the equation that is called perfect gas. So please observe, this is equation 1, this is equation 2. Combining equation 1 and 2, where we get combining equation 1 and equation 2, we get where PV by T is equal to constant. Combining 1 and 2, we got this, where PV by T is equal to constant. What does this explains? Here you can observe a PV is equal to, that is nothing but constant into T. Constant into T. What is this constant? This constant here is represented by a symbol called R. What is this R? Where according to him, where R is said to be called as universal gas constant. Universal gas constant. This constant remains same throughout the universe. It is universal gas constant according to him, where R is equal to 8.314 joules per mole per Kelvin. This is the value for R. So this remains constant throughout the universe. So they have observed this is PV is equal to RT. It is called, this equation is called as, that is ideal gas equation. You can also write PV is equal to mu RT, where this is called an ideal gas equation. And also you can also call it as perfect gas equation. Perfect gas equation. Okay. What is this mu? Mu is called as the one number of moles. Number of moles present in a gas. Number of moles present in a gas. Whichever the gas is taken, as many as number of moles they have taken here, and that is given here in this case. So now what do you observe from this? Now at present we have learnt to learn the concept of gas thermometers. We need the concept of ideal gas. So have introduced the one ideal gas to learn what is gas thermometer. Right? So according to this, where you can observe two scientists by name, one by name Robert Boyle, another by name Jacques Charles. Using those two laws, combining Boyle's law and Charles' law, we arrive at the equation called as the one called as perfect gas equation, or you can also call it as ideal gas equation. What they said here, according to Robert Boyle, he has explained isothermal process. What do you mean by isothermal? Iso means the same. Thermal means temperature. So keeping temperature constant, he has explained the remaining two variables. Because you know there are three variables in a gas. In his explanation, he has kept this constant. Using these two variables, he has explained the one called as the Boyle's law, where pressure is inversely proportional to volume, keeping temperature constant. Or you can also say product of pressure and volume remains constant, according to Boyle's. Similarly, another scientist by name Jacques Charles, where he is a French scientist, and he has explained keeping pressure constant. According to him, volume is directly proportional to absolute temperature. For any of an ideal gas, where volume is directly proportional to absolute temperature. And using this, you can observe V by T equal to constant. Combining 1 and 2, we have found PV by T equal to constant. And by using this and cross multiplying, we got PV equal to constant into T. What does constant represent? That constant represent R. What is this R called as? R is said to be called as universal gas constant. And this constant remains same throughout the universe. Hence it is called universal gas constant. What is the value of R? R is 8.314 joules per mole per Kelvin. Okay. Now using the same equation, we can also write PV is equal to mu RT. What is mu? Mu is called as number of present in a gas. So whatever the number of moles you have taken in a gas, depending on that you can say when U is number of moles. And this equation is called perfect gas equation or ideal gas equation. So by using this, we have found for any quantity of an ideal gas where you can observe PV is equal to mu RT. Right? Now this ideal gas where it is obeys, for there is nothing but it is explained for volume gas thermometers. That is nothing but the volume gas thermometers. What do you mean by volume gas thermometer? Means that is also called as constant volume gas thermometers. So in a thermometer we are filling gas and that gas will be having three variables, but among those three variables we are keeping volume constant. So volume gas thermometers. So keeping volume constant, they have explained the constant volume gas thermometers. So there they have kept keeping volume constant. They have explained the other graph by name, that is volume gas thermometers. How do they behave? By using that we will explain the one called as the absolute scale. Okay. Now before going to this, remember this perfect gas equation, it is obeying only for low density gases. Low density gases it obeys, where you can also say, when you say low density gases, temperature, and there is nothing but you can say where it obeys gas for low temperatures. So it obeys for low density gases. So the pressure will be more density, that is nothing but temperature will be low temperature. So we call it as these laws obeys only for low density gases. So you can say it obeys only for low density gases. By chance, if there is an high density gases, it obeys only for low density gases, I said, right? But if you have high density gases, then there is a slight variable in it. It will never show the same explanation. It will be deviated. The graph is deviated, so that is not explained here. So please observe, to explain the absolute scale temperature, we prefer to use low density gases. That low density gases obeys perfect gas equation. Okay. So now we have learnt about the one called as the perfect gas equation using low density gases. Okay. So when you come across these low density gases here, now they obey certain gas laws at low temperatures. That is that certain gas laws obeys means Boyce-Land-Charles law. Because of these Boyce-Land-Charles law, we arrive at the one perfect gas equations. Okay. Now today we have just learnt about what is perfect gas equation, and also we have learnt how this perfect gas equation obeys for different types of density of gases. In that particularly low density gases it obeys, and it explains. This is helpful to explain the one called as absolute temperature. To explain absolute temperature, again I take the help of constant volume gas thermometers. I prefer to use constant volume gas thermometers. Okay, right. Let me explain what it is. So please observe, what is constant volume gas thermometers? Means in a thermometer we are keeping constant volume and only the remaining two variables like pressure and volume are varied. So that is helpful to explain the absolute scale of temperature. So please observe, for example, if I draw the graph where always we have the one temperature axis along x-axis. Temperature axis. Temperature, that is in degree centigrade. Okay, this is x-axis. What is this? Pressure. Along y-axis. Okay, this is the origin. What do you observe in this gas? That is the one graph means we are keeping constant volume. So only the remaining variables are pressure and temperature. According to this, what they have explained is they have observed, experimentally they have found where it is as you increase the pressure, temperature also increases. As you decrease the pressure, temperature also decreases. So for this they have taken different kind of the one gases. But let me explain first only taking one gas. And after explaining that, I explain for different types of gases. So please observe, if I take only one gas, where according to it has shown that this is the one, a straight line graph. But this does not passes through the origin. It will never pass through the origin. We are keeping volume constant, I said. So here you can observe, that is pressure versus temperature you are observing, and when you observe keeping volume constant, you got a straight line like this. Okay, right. Now using this, what you are observing here, at this is the one, let me say this is the pressure axis, this is temperature axis. So let me say this is the one level which is having low pressure. Let me say that is zero pressure axis. If it increase for one atmospheric pressure, this is let me for 2 atmospheric, let me say this is for 3 atmospheric pressure. So at this position the pressure is maximum, temperature is maximum. So when you decrease the pressure, temperature also decreases. When you decrease the pressure still, temperature also decreases. When you still decrease the temperature also decreases. When you still decrease the pressure, temperature again decreases. So what do you observe? This temperature, as the pressure decreases, temperature also decreases. This you have observed. But at certain temperature, when you are decreasing the temperature, yesterday I said where in the earlier class we have learned, where as the one you can increase the temperature, you can heat the one gas, liquids or gases for any maximum temperature, but you cannot lower for the temperature for lower than the lower limit. So it has certain limit. At that point, that one you can lower the temperature, you can decrease the temperature, but still lower you cannot decrease it. So what you observe here, as it is coming here, the temperature is decreased, pressure also decreased. But if you still decrease the temperature, what happens? Some of the gases will be converting to liquids. At some stage, they will just convert to liquids. But some gases, even at zero temperature, you are decreasing temperature for this, they will never convert to liquids. Still they are behaving in gases. At that time, what you are observing, if you still decrease, means you are going for negative x-axis, negative temperature axis. Means you are extending this graph. You are extending this graph backwards like this. So when you extend like this, it goes on decreasing. So pressure goes on decreasing, still temperature decreases less than zero, again decreases. But at this point, it cuts the temperature axis at this point. So at this point, what happens? The one temperature becomes very less. Nothing but it is less than zero. Temperature decreases. Pressure also decreases. So what do you observe here? Temperature decreases. Pressure decreases. At this point, there is no kinetic energy of gas molecules. What do you mean by kinetic energy of gas molecules? Nothing but there is no motion of the gas molecules in the one thermometer. Motion of gas molecules does not take place. There is no kinetic energy of these molecules. But what you observe here, when there is no kinetic energy of gas molecules, means you may feel energy is negative. Neither energy will never be negative. But here remember, energy will never become negative. But remember here, what happens here, these gas molecules will be completely stops. Nothing but there is no change. They are free enough. They will never show any changes if they become constant. At this position, where you can say, that is, it will be, the gas completely vanishes, you can say. At this position, there is no change. Either it changes to any of the conditions. No, it will never change to any positions. It will remain constant. And this point is called as, that is nothing but called as, this is the one temperature where it is minus 273.15 Kelvin. At this temperature, there is no change in the gas, it completely stops. That is, no motion of the molecules, no change, no increase in temperature, no changes in pressure, no changes in temperature, means completely it vanishes, and this point is taken as the one absolute zero. Throughout the universe it was same, and therefore this point is called as absolute zero. Throughout the universe they found that at that point there is no change in the gas, it remains constant, and they found that point is taken as the absolute zero. And that absolute zero, where we call it as, that was absolute zero temperature. And this was explained by the famous scientist by name Lord Kelvin, and he observed in this, where he has taken this point as the one, this gas completely vanishes, there is no change, because there is no kinetic energy of the gas molecules, and due to which you can say here this point is taken as the starting point of absolute scale, and this was designed by Lord Kelvin, and therefore the scale is also named after him, and it is called as the Kelvin scale of absolute temperature or absolute scale of temperature. Okay, so here this point is taken as the one starting point of absolute scale. In his scale, he has taken the starting point. What is that starting point? That is taken as the ice point, and as according to him, the starting point of his scale was taken as the 0 point, and that nothing but called as the ice point, and that ice point is taken as minus 273.15 Kelvin, and he has taken this point. So this minus 273.15 in his scale he has taken, it is the one called as ice point. This is called as ice point. Okay, and he has also looked into different scales. Last class we have learned about two scales like Fahrenheit scale and the one Celsius scale, and he was more likely to use Celsius scale. He wanted to compare his scale to Celsius scale, so he has taken the one Celsius scale. You already know in the Celsius scale, where you have observed Celsius scale, ice point is taken as 0 degree centigrade, and the one boiling point is taken as 100 degrees centigrade. And in between this, that was divided to 100 equal parts, and each division is taken as 1 degree centigrade. We have learnt in the earlier class. So that scale he has compared to his scale, and he was fond of that scale, and he has compared his scale, where in his scale he taken as the ice point as minus 273.15, and here he has taken the boiling point, where it is boiling point, he has taken it as, that is 373.15 Kelvin. He has taken this boiling point as 373.15 Kelvin, where it is minus 373.15 Kelvin, and this is called as the one boiling point. So in between this, in his scale, he also observed it was divided into 100 equal parts, and there are 100 divisions in between minus 273.15 and minus 373.15, and he said each division is equal to 1 Kelvin, and according to him, he said each division is equal to 1 Kelvin, and therefore you can observe here the difference between them is 100. Here also the difference is 100. So he has compared with this. So today we are able to say Kelvin scale and Celsius scale are similar to each other because they are graduated equally. That is also divided into 100 equal parts between ice point and boiling point, and this one where it is Kelvin scale is also ice point is minus 273.15, and also the one boiling point is taken as 373.15, and it is equally divided into 100 equal parts. Each division is equal to 1 Kelvin. So you are ready to say, so here each division is 1 Kelvin. Each division is equal to 1 Kelvin. Similarly, here each division is equal to 1 degree centigrade. It is 1 degree centigrade. Therefore, you can observe here both the one Kelvin scale and the Celsius scale are similar to each other. Both are similar. Celsius scale and Kelvin scale are similar. So by using this, they are also designed. They have said you can convert from Celsius scale to Kelvin scale. What else he has explained? This scale means he has taken capital T is equal to, that is small t plus 273.15 Kelvin. That is 273.15 is Kelvin. What do you mean to say? This is temperature in Kelvin, this is temperature in degree centigrade, and this is plus you are adding 273.15. So you are converting from temperature in Celsius scale to conversion for the one Kelvin scale. Nothing but you are converting from Celsius scale to Kelvin scale. For example, if you have to convert this Celsius scale, you already have Kelvin scale means T minus 273.15 Kelvin is equal to Tc. That is nothing but we are converting from the Kelvin scale to temperature scale. So when you are already having degree centigrade Celsius scale, you want to convert to Kelvin scale, you are just adding the 273.15 Kelvin, that is 15, then that converts to temperature in Kelvin scale. So I have done this, whatever the value you get it, that is expressed in Kelvin. What do you observe here? Remember, if you want to say what is the absolute zero, in this zero you already have. If you want to make that scale into zero scale means you are just adding for this 273.15 due to which it will become zero. That will become 0 degree. Okay, right. So now by looking to this, you have observed here where you have learned absolute zero. What is this absolute zero means? It is a minimum absolute temperature of an ideal gas. It is a minimum absolute temperature of an ideal gas which is called as absolute zero temperature. That is called as minimum absolute zero. Let me tell you what is absolute zero means. It is minimum absolute temperature. Minimum absolute temperature is called as absolute zero. Absolute zero. And this obeys perfect gas equation where PV is equal to mu RT. It obeys a perfect gas equation which is called an ideal gas equation, and this gas equation which obeys means it obeys only for low density gases. You can say these are obeyed for low density gases. Low density gases at low temperatures. You can say at low temperatures. This is what you can observe here, where there is absolute zero, where you are explaining using the constant volume gas thermometer, taking one gas, using that I have shown this. For example, if you have different gases, what do you observe for different gases means? You can also explain for this. Let me show you what it is. If you have different gases, let me say this is 0, this is temperature scale, this is pressure scale, where it is along y-axis, this is along y-axis, this is along x-axis. Suppose if you have different gases, for example you have taken different gases of different types of gases. Let me say the one of the gas is like this is gas A. Another gas which is gas B. So different gases are taken. Please observe. Have taken three different gases, and if you observe, all these gases of different nature, even if you explain them, if you are taken particularly low density gases, you have to prefer. If you have preferred low density gases, then what happens? All these will obey the same nature, and that obeys nothing but as the pressure will be more, temperature will be more. For this gas, pressure is more, temperature is more. For this gas, as temperature is less, pressure is also less for this. As you observe for this, as temperature is less, pressure is also less. So, as pressure and temperature both are variable, here at this point, you can observe at origin, all this have the same point, same the nature. When you extend this backwards, you observe this, all these means cuts the temperature axis along the one temperature axis cuts at this point, and this point is taken as the minus 273.15 Kelvin. It is taken as the absolute zero, and this is taken as the starting point of absolute scale of temperature, and that is none other than the highest point of absolute scale of temperature, where it is also called as Kelvin scale of temperature, and all these meet at this point. What do you mean to say here? These gases will have, as the pressure decreases, temperature also decreases. So, at this point, some gases will never convert. When it comes, temperature becomes zero. Some gases will never change to liquid. They will never convert to liquid. Sometimes still they are in the gas state. They will be, if you still decrease the temperature and it goes on decreasing at this position, it completely stops. There is no motion of gas molecules. There is no change in the gas molecules. There is no change in your observing means nothing, but there is no kinetic energy of gas molecules, due to which you can say at this position that is taken as the starting point of the absolute zero, and at this point it cuts the temperature axis, and that point is taken as the starting point of absolute scale of temperature, and it was explained by Lord Kelvin, I said, and therefore it is also called as Kelvin scale of temperature. It is absolute scale of temperature, also called as absolute scale of temperature. Absolute scale of temperature you can say, or you can also call it as Kelvin scale of temperature. Kelvin scale of temperature. Right? So today we have just observed the gas thermometers, and starting with the gas thermometers, but this gas thermometers alone cannot be explained. This can be explained only by the help of ideal gas equations. Hence, we have started to learn ideal gas, and to learn ideal gas, we have taken the concept of the different gas laws, because three variables are there in gases, and they are nothing but the parameters. Three parameters you can observe, they are also explained using gas equation. Means this explains the thermodynamic parameters, and because of this it explains the thermodynamic process in this, where due to which it is a thermodynamic state of the process we can explain under even absolute scale of temperature. Okay, absolute temperature that can be explained with the help of ideal gas. Okay, so this is how today we have learned to learn the concept of the thermometers. So hope you understood. Please observe, we have learned different concepts. In the early starting, we have learned about temperature, that is temperature. Again, we have learned what is heat. At the same time, what is temperature, and what are the different types of temperature scales are there, and how we measure the temperature, and different types of temperature scales. All these things we have learned, and today we have learned the thermometer itself. That particularly different types of thermometers are there, liquid thermometers and gas thermometers. Particularly in gas thermometers, to explain, we take the help of the perfect gas equation, and that is none other than called ideal gas equation, and using this we have explained how it obeys. At the same time, we have also learned the one called as absolute temperature to explain constant volume gas thermometers. Okay, this is how we have learned today, and please observe here we have learned the one called as absolute zero definition, where it is nothing but minimum absolute temperature is called as absolute zero. That is also it obeys only for low density gases at low temperatures, where it is none other than called, it obeys an ideal gas. And to explain this ideal gas, we take the help of the two laws by name Robert Boyle and Charles. Right? So this is how we have to learn the concept, and this explains the concept of the one constant gas volume thermometers. Right? Hope you understood this. And please observe here this perfect gas equation you also learn in chemistry. Here also you will learn in physics. But here we take a perfect gas ideal equation. In the next coming days also you will explain. At present, whichever is required for us, we have learned all these things. Okay? And now let me say, in the previous class we have learned two scales. One is called as Celsius scale, another is Fahrenheit scale. And today we have learned one more scale called the one called as the Kelvin scale. So you can also convert from one scale to another scale by the help of the law, that is nothing but rule. Yesterday we have given one conversion of one scale to another scale. If you will remember that standard formula, you are ready to convert these three scales, whichever you can convert from, maybe Celsius to Fahrenheit, or from the Celsius to Kelvin scale, or from Kelvin to Celsius scale, or maybe Celsius to Fahrenheit. So that is the one. Hope you will understand the formula. You have to remember to conversion from one scale to another scale. But remember, whenever you write for this absolute temperature, you should write in capital T. What does this T, small t represents? This small t represents temperature in Celsius scale. This temperature, capital T, represents absolute temperature. You should not read temperature, it must be absolute temperature. This is Celsius temperature. Right? So these things, you please be aware of these things. That will help you in the next coming days class, which is useful for all the things which you come across in problems or any other calculations. Okay? Right. So in the one more concept we come across here, that is when you heat the substance, what happens? And those things already we have learned regarding temperatures. And let us learn when you heat the substance, what happens. Those concepts we learn in the next class regarding expansions. So where you can learn the expansion of these, whatever you come across, the solids, nothing but the one you can observe about the linear expansion, superficial, and also cubical expansion. How expansion takes place for different substances. These things we will learn in the next coming class. The next class we hope we'll learn this. Hope you understood all these things.